Vincent, yes, good afternoon. Yes.
Oh, hi, Michael. How are you?
Yes, I'm well. How are you? Yes.
Good. I'm just I wanted to apologise for the last time we spoke, which was a few weeks ago, because I thought maybe I was a bit rude in being so adamant about not having another face-to-face with you.
No need, really, honestly, no need. Look, to be honest, I just want to say, look, apology not accepted, because it was simply not necessary.
Okay. Well, I was bamboozled by that meeting. You're a very intense person, and I think that sort of interaction is something I need to probably prep for. Yeah.
And Vincent, they are. This is great, and I'll pass this on to Michael. They're terrific insights.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
But listen, and maybe we should start the session proper earlier this time, because we always leave it. I trust no harm or self-harm in any ways.
No. Well, actually, there's a little bit of harm. I smashed my finger moving a box, and it's quite damaged. Like there's sort of like a,
I mean harm to others. So
harm to others. No, no. Everything's good in that department.
And then self-harm, obviously.
Well, I smashed my finger, but that was an accident. I just sort of smashed it when I was walking down the corridor.
But your partner wasn't involved in any way.
No, she wasn't here, but like the sight of blood, I nearly fainted because it was bleeding, and then I had to sort of it was almost like I had to really will myself to sort of get to the sink to wash away the blood, and it was very very painful in that way. But I mean, I have to sort of man up with these sort of things.
You've moved on, obviously, and that's great, and it's really good to hear. It's really good to
try to move on.
Really good to hear. But listen, what I wanted to, and that's all fine and well. So we can.
Yes.
It's great. But we touched on in the previous sessions. Your desire to move on, which is commendable, and I share that desire as well. And you discussed, I think you may have even stated you were, sick of Jung, as you had previously stated you were sick of Freud, and you were done with all that stuff, I'm here to follow your lead in a sense, in the way that I want to make sure that you are being looked after and cared for.
Yes. What's the next stage? I feel like I'm ready for the next stage of psychoanalysis. I feel like I've moved through, and I feel like I'm ready for that.
Well, so psychoanalysis, we have to be careful with the terminology, obviously. So we've left the analysis bit behind us, because that's the Freud and the Jung thing, and we've sort of done humanistic to death.
I'm sick of humans. I'm sick of that.
You weren't happy with that, and so now we're kind of, I don't know, we're sort of approaching the existential stuff, and I was reflecting a little bit, because I was going through my notes and thinking, like, where can we go with Vincent to really make some progress. but without making too much progress, because what we don't want to do is in any way impact your ability to participate in the mental health, in the mental Olympics, right? Because you that was just your sense of excitement and exuberance even was fantastic, and Michael.
Well, I've never heard from Michael. I've never heard from him.
Well, so he and I have spoken, and his lack of contact should not be taken as recalcitrance. Should not be interpreted in that way at all. He's holding back because that is actually part of the process.
Right.
That's what, and I shouldn't be telling you this actually. Now that I've told you this, oh goodness, no.
Oh, I get it. Yes. So by not making contact, he is making contact.
Well, look, it's a sort of a. I don't know if you've seen that there's that film with Danny DeVito and Crisscross. It's like that. Have you ever seen Throw Mama from the Train?
Oh yeah, I think I did a long time ago.
Yeah, it's that thing where it's like you do the opposite. It's like I don't know. This is probably the wrong place to state it, but it's like it's reverse psychology, and Michael being a fully equipped professional. He actually gets paid for what he does, which is the difference between you and I.
Well, look, that'll happen for you one day, Michael. I'm sure it'll happen for you. It's it's on the cusp. There, you just have to do more study and probably get richer clients.
Exactly. Exactly. And so, anyways, so that's by the by. We'll put that to one side. We'll come back to it in future sessions. Yeah. That's all. Okay. But as I was, reflecting and thinking as I do in preparation for these sessions, because I do invest a lot of time and effort in preparing for my sessions with you. Despite not getting paid, I was thinking about how do we turn these things, and there was things in my notes, I think there was a time when there was a thing with Sam, Sam, my dog, and he was there was this trauma thing that he went through and stuff like that, and just this morning, and I thought I don't know, maybe if I can share this with you. Just this morning, and I thought this might be useful, maybe something you can take away. I don't know, but I was walking Sam, and I bumped into this fella in the park who was also walking a dog, like a Doberman, Sam's, this fella tells me, says, "Hey, I've got a story, about dogs." I'm like, great. So he told me a story about dogs. And this is actually what got me thinking about the right approach. So here's how the story goes. This is what this fellow told me. He said there's and it's a bit. Do you know Aesop? Aesop, the Greek guy who told these fables. It always involved animals, and animals have this thing. Yes. Aesop's fables. So it's a little. It's like it almost struck me like. Anyway, so these two dogs. Meet on the street, and they this is what he told me, and they sniff each other's bums, and they realise they know each other from the park, and one says to the other, "Hey, how's things?" The other says, "Oh, not good." Says, "Well, what's going on?" And the other says, "Well, firstly, my wife." He says, "Well, what's going on?" He says, "Well, she's a bitch."
Oh.
Right. But no, he says, and dog talk is really complicated. It's all barks and woofs, but actually there's lots of nuance and there's lots of tonality. So no, not literally, figuratively. She argues, and we can't see eye to eye because we're different heights. It's all that sort of complexity. But I feel that it's headed for the toilet. And the other dog says, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible." He says, yeah. And he says, well, secondly, my kids. He says, well, what about your kids? He says, well, It's our third litter, right? And they're cute and everything. But the first two just got taken away suddenly, and I feel the same thing is going to happen. And I want to love them. I do love them, but I just don't see the point because they're just going to get taken away. That's what happens. This is what this fellow.
That's all.
This is what this fellow's saying to me. This is this Aesop fable light thing, and so it's like and it's like it breaks my heart. And so the other dog says to this dog says, "Oh my God, that's terrible." It says, "Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking." It says, "Yeah," and it says, "And thirdly, it's my job." It says, "Well, what about your job?" It says, "Well, I've only got one job, and that's to fetch the stick, right?" And it's like, "Yeah, but what about?" And I said, "Well, lately, my boss, your boss, we go out. He's like, I can tell his heart is just not in it. It's kind of perfunctory. Like it's just not. We go out 10 minutes. It's whatever. And actually, I feel like I've lost a love as well." And so so the other dog says, "Man, it feels like you're really going through some stuff." And he says, "Yeah, and so the dog says, "Yeah, I've been thinking about it, and I feel like I'm in the middle of an existential crisis." This is what the dog says. "I feel like I'm in the middle of an existential crisis." So the dog says to him, this is what the fellow's telling me about, this Aesop fable thing. He says, "Well, man, it sounds like you're going through some stuff. Have you thought of maybe going to see like a psychiatrist or something?" And the dog says to you, "Well, I have. But the problem is I'm not allowed on the couch."
Oh, yes. Well, yes.
Now, Vincent, I'm afraid our time is up.
Well,
okay. To your only point, I really think maybe we should consider existentialism as a way to address the issues that are facing you.
Yes.
And that was really the reason that I thought I'd share that with you, because as this fellow was telling me this story, I thought of you.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'll if you could send me through some notes and an updated chart with where I'm heading with this new tact.
Yes.
I'll prepare for that, and I think this is a good way forward. Like every suggestion you make in regards to my journey is always exciting, and I'm always sort of thrilled with the potential of where we'll go.
Yes, terrific.
Okay. Well, I feel like I didn't say anything, but that's good. That could be a good thing in therapy.
Well, Vincent, listen, take care, stay safe, and I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, thanks, Michael.